So here's the latest project, guys, something a wee bit different. It's a lawn tractor. One of my pals has given up on it. It just failed mid-cut and he's had enough of it, so he bought himself a new tractor. So it's for me to see if I can get it resolved. He's a smart guy, my buddy Al, and he figures it's a compression issue, so I don't want to discount that by any stretch of the imagination, but we'll go through the motions and see if we can see what's what. Might be something catastrophic, might be something simple, we'll see. Okay, so I just took the hood off it so I can get access to it here. It's a 15.5 Briggs & Stratton overhead valve. So I thought I'd just do some preliminary checks. I have no idea how this normally sounds, of course, right? So it's difficult for me to say whether it's a, you know, it sounds weird with respect to the compression or not, but I thought I'd just do a few basics because I want to make sure that I've got the interlocks met. There's a few safety interlocks with respect to the ignition. So I thought, well, let me see if I have ignition first. So I've just got my wee spark tester there. It's just a wee inline just make the, so we've got rotation. It doesn't sound like a bag of bolts. And it sounds like something's pumping with respect to compression, and you can see we certainly have ignition. Or at least we have, it's trying to spark, let's put it that way. Can't confirm ignition yet because I haven't pulled the plug. Maybe the issue's somewhere at the plug, it's flashing over at the plug, in which case you'd still get the light, right? But we certainly have high tension down the line. So that's good. We have rotation, that's good. So just the basics, right? The acronym I like to use when I'm troubleshooting anything with respect to internal combustion engines, just the facts. Fuel, air, compression, timing, spark. Not necessarily in that order. Take the low-hanging fruit first, right? Usually spark. So it appears we have some spark. Let's move on. Is there any mice in there, Yoki? Could be. Okay, so I can see something obvious I don't like here. That looks like the shroud is absolutely packed with clippings. Not unusual, right? But quite often there is a governor which is operated by the rotation of the flywheel fan, and the governor could be potentially malfunctioning, of course, because of the mess of grass that's inside the shroud here. Of course, this shroud provides the cooling. You overheat this because there's not enough cooling going on. Yeah, you could potentially be dead in the water, like while you're cutting, right? So let's not overlook the obvious here. Let's clean this up first. Boy! Yeah, that's not good. As I said, you're gonna overheat the engine real quick like that. Perhaps it was an overheat. This led to the shutdown, I don't know, we'll see. But I don't imagine there's much cooling going through the fins with that rubbish in there. Well, you know what, actually the thought occurs to me, this might be, my buddy Al lives in out in the country, and this has been sitting for some time. This could be an accumulation after the fact, actually, so don't want to jump to conclusions here. Yeah, so just with the initial rubbish on the top removed, you can see this is absolutely just packed. All the cooling fins are absolutely packed. This very well could be an overheat shutdown. So just after some preliminary cleaning of the chassis here, so mouse doesn't run it and scare the bejesus at me. I've removed the shroud here on the side of the engine, and you can see how tightly packed those cooling fins are. This is just, yeah, even if there is a compression issue, I can't overlook this. You know, look how tightly packed that is. That's years of, you can see it's starting to basically turn into soil that's been in there so long. Okay, so I don't claim to be the sharpest mechanic in the shed here, guys, but I'm pretty sure we should have some fuel here. And it is bone dry in the bowl, as you can see. So clearly, you can see I'm starting to get a few drops there now. There we go. Been working the needle valve. Clearly the needle valve, when the float drops, is not letting any fuel into the bowl, so that doesn't help. I can't film everything, but it will run on the carb cleaner. So yeah, don't think it's a compression issue. I think it's almost certainly an overheat and nowhere in a fuel issue. So one step at a time. As I said, just the facts. Fuel, air, compression, timing, spark, with no overheat. That's kind of interesting, guys. I've never seen that before. Probably plenty of you have. There's a little solenoid that when the key's in the off position, out of run that is, that it pops up and will lift the float, right? And in the run position, crank, solenoid energizes and the pimple pulls down. Whoops. There's a wee bias spring as well, just to make sure the fuel is shut off.
Okay, let's see.
At this point in time, I'm feeling pretty proud of myself. So I'll button everything up, clean everything up, and figure, well, it's time to take it for a test drive. And it lasted all of about 50 yards. And then this happened. Seem to be having a string of bad luck lately in the garage. Perhaps it's me. There's no such thing as bad luck. Yeah, so short ways into the test drive, a few 50 yards or something. Horrendous noise transpires and sparks flying from the exhaust, and it becomes apparent that something catastrophic has transpired. Back to the garage, I removed the valve cover, which I was never in sight, and I'm met with this mess. And clearly the intake valve has decided to drop. I assume the keeper has come adrift, and there it goes, drops inside the cylinder, and the piston punches it right back out again. Not good. What a mess. That's it, boys. Cheers.